Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're diving deep into Austin Kleon's Steal Like an Artist today.
Oh, yeah, one of my favorites.
And you know what's cool? You don't have to be like a professional artist to get something out of this one.
Definitely not.
Kleon's advice. It's for anyone who wants to make something new.
Yeah, he really flips the script in that whole idea of, like the lone creative genius.
The lone genius. It's like...
Right. He's like, forget that.
Yeah.
Everything built on what came before, so we should be like,
I know. It's almost like we're supposed to be.
embracing all those influences.
Yeah, embracing them. And I love how he uses that quote from Ecclesiastes.
Yeah.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
But instead of it being like, oh, bummer,
Yeah.
it's actually kind of freeing.
It's like, okay, I don't have to start from scratch.
Permission to not be original.
Exactly. I can just like tap into this whole genealogy of ideas.
Oh my God.
It's like inheriting traits.
Oh my gosh.
But instead of your grandma's nose, it's like,
It's like Shakespeare's
brilliance, or like Beyonce's,
Yeah, Beyonce's dance moves.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we're inheriting all this amazingness.
Yeah.
But then there's that phrase,
Right.
steal like an artist.
Steal like an artist.
Which sounds kind of rebellious.
It's a little provocative.
Yeah, but it's not actually about plagiarism.
Not at all.
Right.
No, it's more like,
Like, how would you explain it?
imagine you're a chef.
Okay.
And you want to recreate a dish you had at a restaurant.
Okay, got it.
You wouldn't just like blindly copy the recipe, right?
No.
You try to understand like the techniques, the flavors.
Why does it work?
Yeah, what makes it so good? And so Kleon's saying we can do that with any creative work.
So it's like you're looking at a masterpiece.
Yeah.
But you're dissecting it.
Yeah, exactly.
To see like the guts, the DNA.
Got it.
And Kleon uses the Beatles as an example.
He does. Oh yeah, the Beatles a perfect example.
What was it about them?
Well, they started as a cover band.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's how they cut their teeth.
Oh, wow.
They were soaking up the styles of all those rock and roll greats.
Yeah.
Buddy Holly, Little Richard, Chuck Berry, all of them. And you know what's funny?
What?
Paul McCartney said they only started writing their own songs because other bands were starting to copy their covers.
Whoa. So, they were like, wait a minute.
We got to come up with new stuff.
Yeah.
Or these guys are going to steal our set list.
So it's like, in a weird way, imitation was the launch pad.
Yeah, totally.
To their own voice.
It's like to break free, you got to start with what already exists.
Yeah, I mean, and it makes me think about Kobe Bryant, too.
Oh, yeah, good one.
Who was, like, super open about, stealing moves from his basketball hero.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it's interesting because, like, his physique was different.
Different build?
From, like, the players he admired.
Uh-huh.
So he had to adapt those moves.
Yeah, he had to, like, make it his own.
And that actually created his signature style.
Right. And it's like, sometimes our limitations are actually what push us.
Yeah.
To be more...
It's like the constraint is actually...
the fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Breathing the innovation.
I love that. And, it makes me think about that Conan O'Brien quote about comedians.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, every comedian wants to be like their hero.
Right.
But they can't quite nail it, so they end up sounding like themselves.
Oh, it's so true.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
It's like you try to be like someone else, and you end up being more you.
Yeah, it's like this beautiful paradox.
Right. The more we try to emulate, the more we become ourselves.
Okay, so everything's connected.
Yeah.
We're part of this artistic family tree.
Right.
Our limitations, they can make our work even stronger.
They can.
But then there's this thing that a lot of creative people, even like really successful ones, talk about.
Imposter syndrome.
Yeah, imposter syndrome.
That feeling like you're a fraud.
Oh, I know it. Wow.
Right. Like you're going to get found out like any minute now.
Yes.
So Kleon actually addresses that head on.
Does he? What does he say about it?
He says, fake it till you make it.
Oh, really?
He even talks about Patti Smith.
Oh, well.
In her book, Just Kids.
Okay.
She and Robert Mapplethorpe, they would literally dress up as artists.
To like get in the zone.
To get into the mindset.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's like dress for the job you want.
Right. But for creativity.
I love it.
Yeah. It's like, that Shakespeare line, all the was a stage.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe. Just maybe creative work is kind of a performance, too.
Oh, I like that.
Right. You try on these different roles until something...
Clips. Oh, I love that. It makes me live about, like, how I'm influenced by, like, the books I read, movies, even just, like, walking around my neighborhood.
Totally.
It's like my brain's this giant blender.
Yeah. It's your own personal mixtape.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and it reminds us that even the little choices we make, like what we listen to, what we watch,
Yeah.
those are actually shaping our creativity.
It's wild.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
Okay, so now I have to ask about this.
Yeah.
Kleon's known for loving his analog tools.
Yes.
But is it like pen and paper?
Is it all?
No computer?
No computers allowed.
'Cause, I mean, I do some of my best brainstorming on my phone,
He's not anti-technology, but he does think that the digital world with all of its editing and perfectionism,
Oh, yeah.
it can make us more hesitant to just play.
I feel that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
It's like, oh.
The difference between sketching in a notebook where you can be messy, scribble,
Yeah.
versus working in Photoshop where it's like,
so perfect.
So
permanent. Yeah. And it's intimidating.
It can be. Analog tools help us loosen up.
Okay.
Yeah, play a little.
I like that.
And you know what Kleon does? He has 2 different desks.
Get out.
One for analog work.
Okay.
And one for digital.
That's awesome.
So like one is for exploring and the other's for refining.
That's so smart.
Yeah. And you think about it, when you're using a pen and paper, you're engaging all your senses, right?
That's true.
It's tactile.
Yeah.
It's almost like a game.
Yeah. It feels less serious.
It does.
It's like less pressure.
Exactly. I love how the cartoonist, Palm Gold, talks about his sketchbook.
Yeah.
He's like, possibilities are endless in there.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. That's what it should feel like.
Totally.
And then when you're ready, you can bring those ideas into like digital space.
I'm with you.
It's the best of both worlds.
Okay, so let's say I'm like doodling away in my notebook, right?
Yeah.
And I get hit with an idea
Oh, yeah.
for a totally different project.
Right.
Should I just like
What do you do?
ignore it and stay focused? Or is it okay to chase that new spark?
That's a good question because
Because I'm a side project junkie.
Me too.
Which can be both awesome
I know.
and a total nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kleon would say embrace it.
Really?
Yeah, he actually calls it productive procrastination.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
Right. He thinks those passion projects, those things we do just for the love of it, those often become our best work.
I feel that because there's a certain freedom.
Yes.
When you're not worried about like deadlines.
Yeah, no clients.
Yeah, or pleasing anyone.
Just you.
Yeah. It reminds me of the band Deer Hunter.
Okay.
Their lead singer, Bradford Cox. As a kid, he used to record like fake versions of his favorite albums.
No way!
Before they came out.
Wow.
And those fake songs actually evolved into
That's awesome.
some of Deer Hunter's first like real tracks.
It's like playing fan fiction with your own work.
I love that. Okay, so we're embracing productive procrastination.
Productive procrastination.
But let's be real. Like most of us have jobs.
Yeah.
Commitments, laundry piling up.
Right.
How do we actually fit creative work into
real life?
Real life.
Right. Does Kleon
Yeah, does he think we all need to like
fit our jobs and
move to a cabin in the woods?
Go live in a yurt.
To be real artists.
He actually emphasizes having a daily routine.
Okay, so that's good.
Yeah, even if it's just a little bit each day.
Okay.
And he doesn't think a day job is the enemy.
Okay.
He actually sees it as potential stability.
Yeah.
Maybe even inspiration.
So I'm picturing Kleon like rocking a spreadsheet by day.
Right.
And then painting by night.
Exactly. He even uses his bus commute for creative thinking.
Oh, really?
He calls it like solitude and temporary captivity.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Right. It's like those limitations.
Yeah.
They help him focus.
And that reminds me of Jerry Seinfeld's famous don't break the chain method.
Yes.
Where he like marks every day he writes with an X.
Yes, on a calendar.
On the calendar.
Visualize it.
Leon's all about that consistency.
Consistency.
I love that.
So good.
What about like a logbook?
Oh, yeah, he loves that.
That's something he talks about.
He does. Not like a diary, but more of a tracker of what you work on, where you go, what you consume.
So it's almost like you're a detective.
Yeah. You're following your own creative trail.
Oh, I love that.
It can be surprising to look back and see all those connections you made.
Oh, yeah. It's like you can't connect the dots looking forward.
You can only connect them looking backward.
You can only connect them looking backward. Okay, so we're tapping into influences.
Yes.
Embracing the side projects.
Right.
Getting organized with routines and logbooks.
Yes.
But what about connecting with other creatives?
Right.
I'm picturing like...
Smoky cafes?
Yeah, smoky cafes.
Intense discussions about art.
Yeah, intense discussions.
Does Kleon think that's important?
Yeah. Or is it all about the like solo grind?
He's a big believer in finding your tribe.
Okay.
Both online and off.
Okay.
He even quotes Harold Ramis, the great Harold Ramis, who said, find the most talented person in the room, and if it's not you, go stand next to him.
I love that.
Right.
It's all about finding your crew.
Yeah.
Once you get it.
Once you get you.
Yeah, and I feel like online, it's so much easier.
So easy.
To find and follow people.
Yeah. You don't even have to leave your house.
Yeah. That are doing work that, lights you up.
Right.
It's kind of like Harold Ramis's advice.
Yeah.
But for the digital age.
Digital age, exactly.
Okay, so we're finding our tribe.
Find your tribe.
We're being open to all these influences. But then there's this idea of also...
Of being selective.
Yeah, of being selective about what we don't let in to our creative worlds.
What you leave out is just as important.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Okay, I'm curious to hear. It can be tough, though, right? Especially with, like, the internet and everything. It's just like...
It's like information overload.
Yeah, you're constantly bombarded.
It's its own creative block.
Kleon actually compares it to being a chef.
Okay.
He's like, you wouldn't just throw every ingredient into a dish, right?
Okay.
You choose the ones that, like, enhance the flavor and leave out the ones that don't.
Okay, I like that.
So it's the same with our creative work.
Yeah.
We need to be mindful about what we let into our minds.
So it's not just about what we add.
Right.
It's also what we subtract.
Exactly.
Okay, so what are some things we can leave out?
Okay, so what can we leave out?
To, like, make our work stronger.
Well, it could be anything that's, like, draining your energy or distracting you from what matters.
Yeah.
Maybe it's too much social media.
Yes.
Maybe it's that negative self-talk.
I know that one.
Or even just, like, a cluttered workspace.
Oh, yeah.
Think about it. What are the things in your life
good question.
that are taking up space but not really adding value?
Okay, I'm already thinking about all the notifications on my phone.
I know, right?
I have to turn those off.
Maybe try it. Experiment with it.
Yeah.
Kleon also talks about embracing limitations.
Okay.
Which it sounds kind of counterintuitive.
Yeah.
He thinks those constraints can actually fuel creativity.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because sometimes having too many options could be paralyzing.
Totally. And that reminds me about Dr. Seuss.
Oh, yeah.
His editor challenged him to write green eggs and ham.
I love that book.
Using only 50 different words. And look what happened.
I know.
It became one of his most beloved books.
It's so great.
It's like sometimes having those boundaries, it forces us to think outside the box.
Makes us more resourcing.
Exactly. Okay, so we're being selective with our inputs. We're embracing our limitations.
Okay.
But what if we're just not feeling it? You know?
Yeah.
What if we're not feeling confident?
What if we're not feeling motivated?
Kleon gets that. He acknowledges that the creative journey, it's a roller coaster. You're going to have your ups and downs. You're going to have those moments of doubt.
Totally. And sometimes you just want to, like,
give up.
Give up, yeah.
But he says those feelings are totally normal.
Okay.
We're part of the
So it's not about, like,
it's not about
avoiding those feelings,
Right. It's about learning to navigate them.
Okay.
He has this great tip. He calls it keeping a praise file.
A praise file? What is that?
It's basically like a collection of positive feedback you've gotten. So when you're feeling down, you can go back and read those nice things people have said.
Oh, that's so smart.
Right. Remind yourself that your work matters.
It's like your own personal cheering section.
Exactly. And you know what? He reminds us that we're not alone in this.
I mean, I feel like every creative person, no matter how successful,
experiences those moments.
Those moments of self-doubt.
Yeah. So that makes me feel better.
Good.
Okay, so we're being selective.
Yes. We're embracing the limitations.
Right.
We're finding our tribe. We're dealing with the doubts.
Yes.
What else does he have to say about actually making the work?
Yeah, actually, like getting started. He says, just start somewhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be perfect.
Okay, that's good to hear.
It just has to be done.
Yeah.
He encouraged us to think about it like fan fiction.
Okay.
Like, what's that work you wish existed in the world?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So, like,
what would you create if you weren't afraid of failing?
Oh, that's such a good question.
Or being judged.
Right.
Yeah, okay. He says we don't have to be a capital A artist.
Oh, that's good.
To steal like an artist.
Right, yeah.
This book is for anyone who wants to live a more creative life.
I like that.
It doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah, that's also...
Or your background.
Okay, so it doesn't matter if you're writing a novel.
Nope.
Starting a business.
Doesn't matter.
Or just, like, trying to be more creative.
Yeah, in your daily life.
Right. Like
Kleon's advice applies. It's really about, like...
It's a mindset.
Yeah, mindset. More than anything. It's about being open to inspiration, embracing the things you love.
Okay.
Not being afraid to experiment.
I like that.
He wants us to think about our work as a conversation.
Oh.
Not a monologue.
Okay.
We're all building on the ideas and the influences that came before us.
So it's a conversation.
It's a conversation.
It's a mashup.
It's a mashup. Okay.
It's like an ongoing process.
It's an ongoing process, yeah.
What does Kleon think about sharing our work then?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Because, like, that could be so scary, right?
It can be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Putting yourself out there.
Totally.
But he actually thinks sharing is like a crucial part of the process.
Oh, really?
He says be generous with your work.
Generous, like give it away.
Well, he's not saying give away everything for free.
Okay.
But he does encourage us
Yeah.
to be open about our process, our inspirations, the things we've learned along the way.
So it's more about sharing the journey.
Yeah, the behind the scenes, right? He actually points to people like Bob Ross.
Oh, yeah.
And Martha Stewart.
Okay.
As examples of that.
Oh, interesting.
They were so generous sharing their knowledge, their techniques.
Yeah.
And that allowed other people to learn and create.
I get really excited.
Yeah.
When I see other people's creative process videos
online. It's inspiring.
It's inspiring, and it makes me feel less alone.
Exactly. And you know what? Kleon says that when we share our work, we're not only helping others, we're helping ourselves.
Really? How so?
It forces us to articulate our ideas, to get feedback, to see our work from a different perspective. So sharing isn't just about being nice.
Right.
It's a way to get better at what we do.
I like that.
He even suggests writing fan letters.
Fan letters, like actual letters.
It could be a letter. It could be a blog post. It could be like a social media shout out.
Okay.
The format doesn't matter as much as the intention.
Okay.
It's about acknowledging the people who've influenced you and contributing to that cycle of inspiration.
That's such a cool idea.
Right. And it connects back to stealing like an artist.
Because by being open to influence, we're kind of acknowledging the contributions of others.
Exactly. We're all part of this creative ecosystem.
Makes me think about like the open source movement.
Oh, yeah. Good one.
Where people are freely sharing code and ideas to create something bigger.
Yeah, and Kleon actually says every new idea is just a matchup or a remix of one or more previous ideas.
Which goes back to that quote,
Yes.
There's nothing new under the sun.
Full circle, right.
I used to think that was like a bummer.
Right.
But now I see it differently.
It's actually pretty liberating.
Yeah.
It means we don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
We can just build on what's already there.
Totally.
And create something new and exciting.
So it's not about erasing our influences.
Yeah.
It's about acknowledging them.
And transforming them into something uniquely our own.
It's like building a family tree, but with ideas.
Yes. Love that image.
This is all making me feel like a lot less pressure to be original.
Because it's more about finding the things that spark your curiosity.
Yeah.
And figuring out how to weave them together in a way that feels authentic to you.
Oh, I love that.
And, Kleon's not trying to romanticize the creative life.
Right.
He's very honest about the challenges.
It's not all rainbows and unicorns, is it?
Not at all.
Okay, good. Because I think it's important to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Because there will be rejection.
There will be rejection.
There will be self-doubt. And there will be times when you just wonder, why am I even doing this?
Exactly.
But he says those are part of the journey.
They're part of the journey. They make you stronger.
So it's about building those creative muscles.
Yeah, you got to build up that resilience.
That resilience so we can bounce back.
Bounce back from those setbacks.
From the setbacks, exactly.
And he encourages us to find those practices that help us stay grounded, and connected to our creativity.
So whether it's establishing a routine.
Yes.
A routine.
Finding your tribe.
Or just, I don't know, going for a walk in nature.
Yeah, whatever works for you.
To clear your head.
It's about finding what works for you.
Yeah.
And then, building a practice that you can actually sustain over time.
So it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It's all about the pace.
Find your pace.
Consistency.
Consistency.
And those things that fuel us.
Yeah, what fuels your creative fire.
Yeah, along the way.
I love this.
This has been so inspiring.
I know. Kleon's book is full of wisdom.
Yeah, it's like he's giving us permission to be curious, to experiment.
To embrace the mess.
Yeah, to embrace the mess.
Which is so important.
And to remember that we're not alone.
You are not alone.
Oh, I love that.
Just a whole community of creative people.
Out there,
going through the same things.
Okay, so what should we do?
Go out there, find your people, steal like an artist, and make something amazing.
I love it. And now we need to take a quick break, but we'll be right back to wrap up our deep dive into Steal Like an Artist. Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Back for more Kleon, right?
It's been so interesting to really unpack these ideas,
Yeah. It's a dense little book.
It is. It's little, but so much in it.
Packed with wisdom.
It is about, influence and creativity and finding your voice.
Finding your own path.
Yeah, and how do you actually make that happen? Make the work.
Right. And one of the things that Kleon does so well is remind us that we're all part of this lineage,
This creative lineage.
Yeah, we're all part of something bigger.
And he's not saying like, just go copy what's been done before.
Not at all.
It's more about understanding like, okay, where did those ideas come from? And then how do we like use that knowledge,
build on it
to make something new?
Exactly. He talks about how every new idea is essentially a remix or like a mashup of existing ideas.
Which, when you really think about that, it's kind of mind-blowing.
It makes you realize that there's this constant flow,
constant flow of
inspiration. Yeah, this like give and take.
Like a back and forth.
Yeah, and it's been happening for centuries.
Yeah, we're all contributing to that.
And Kleon encourages us to be active participants in that.
How do we do that?
Well, he says, share your work, give credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
Support other artists.
Yeah.
He talks about writing fan letters.
Oh, yeah. That's one of my favorite takeaways from the book.
Such a cool concept, right?
Yeah. What a way.
It's basically just like expressing your appreciation for those who inspire you.
And it doesn't have to be.
It could be anything.
Yeah.
An email, a blog post, even a piece of art.
Oh, yeah. A piece of art inspired by their work.
Exactly.
I love that.
It's acknowledging the impact they've had on your creative journey.
And it's like contributing to that generosity. Right?
Yes, exactly. It's like you said, it's that flow.
Yeah. And it's so interesting how Kleon connects that to stealing. It's like by being open to influence, we're acknowledging the contribution.
We're acknowledging that we're not starting from scratch.
Of those who came before us.
Exactly. And that it's okay to be inspired by others.
It's like this beautiful reciprocity.
It is. It's like we take inspiration and then we give back by sharing our work.
And that creates this amazing
ripple effect.
Ideas constantly evolving.
Yes. And I feel like that's one of the most exciting things about creativity, right?
Totally.
It's never static. It's always changing.
And there are always new possibilities.
New possibilities. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Steal Like an Artist, I just feel this like excitement.
I feel it too.
It's like Kleon gave us
He gave us a roadmap.
To the creative life.
To the creative life with all its challenges.
And all the rewards.
And rewards. And, he reminded us it's okay to be influenced by others. That limitations can be a source of strength.
So true.
And like the most important thing
keep going
is to
just keep making stuff.
So what are we waiting for?
Go steal like an artist.
Yes. Go make something amazing.
We'll be here cheering you on.
We'll be right here. So thanks for listening to The Deep Dive.